Good afternoon, everybody. Have you been looking for me? Well, guess what? You found me in the kitchen with Angela. This is Angela, your Creole Roots girl. Thank you for joining me. I know it's been a while since you got another video from me. So thank you for coming into my kitchen today. Since it's holiday time, I decided I'm going to do a festive stuffed bell pepper dish, not the old New Orleans way. I'm gonna do it a little different because we're going to a party. Me and my son Christian, we're gonna be headed to a Christmas party with his gym, so I'm gonna try to make it a little bit different, and it's gonna be colorful. See, I have the different kinds of bell peppers. We have the orange, the red, and the green, so we're making it Christmassy looking. See that? They're already been cut. And I pulled out all the core of it, you know, the seeds and things like that. I pulled that out. So I'm going to start with some ground meat and some pork sausage. So I'm mixing the two. We're also going to add in some mushrooms, okay? And some rice. I pre-cooked already. Here's the rice. So I'm going to assemble them. I'm going to put them in the oven after everything's cooked up. I'm going to first start off with the meat. I have my meat here. And like I said, if you're just joining me, I'm making stuffed bell peppers today. Not the New Orleans way, but a New Orleans girl is cooking it. So you know it's going to have a lot of flavor, right? There's going to be a lot of flavor in this dish. So I'm doing half and half. This is ground chuck and maple pork sausage, ground pork sausage, okay? So I'm doing half and half. I'm adding mushrooms, tomato sauce in there, you know. So I'm gonna get this meat all browned up. And like I said, this is a different kind of thing, but it should work well. I mean, you can stuff a bell pepper with anything you desire. It's up to you. I'm trying to make it a little bit healthy as I can, but flavorful, because this is like a holiday treat. So it is gonna be for my son's Christmas potluck today at his gym. So they decided to have a little Christmas potluck for all the people that work out together. And I'm just gonna get it prepared. And it's gonna be a nice colorful dish. Right now I'm just sauteing my meat. The mixture is gonna come together well and blend good too. So then I'm gonna saute my onion, bell pepper, celery, and my mushrooms. Now, with that being said, you know I'm from New Orleans, so what do we use in our food? It's always the same thing: bell pepper, onion, and celery. What do we call that? Hit me up and tell me. If you can, you might win a prize. So I am cooking up this meat. It's on about between medium and high. It's not that, but it's enough to make sure the meat cooks down, okay? So I have my setting on a 6, basically. So it's almost like a medium high, okay? So what are you guys cooking this weekend? Today is Saturday. You're in the kitchen with Angela, Creole Roots 47, okay? Just cooking up. And if you like my videos and stuff, you can follow me on Instagram, Creole Roots 47. You can follow me on my Facebook page, which is Creole Roots Washington. And also, I do load things on Pinterest as well, okay? So follow me, you guys. I'm making a good old stuffed bell pepper. but it's not the New Orleans stuffed bell pepper. Normally, New Orleans stuffed bell peppers come with two different kinds of meats, which is the ground pork sausage and the ground meat. We also use ham. We also use smoked sausage. You chop it up into little pieces. We use Italian breadcrumbs. And we also use stuff like all the different seasonings New Orleans people use. Shrimp too, crab meat, you know, different things like that. But like I said, this is not going to be a Christmas thing. It's Christmassy, but with a twist, okay? It's not my regular or my normal, so I decided to do something a little different. Give you a different recipe to work out and put in your little notes. So if this is something you want to do, you can even eat this during the week too, okay? So, yes. If you have any questions or you have any things you want me to whip up and demonstrate how to put together, you can always inbox me as well. But follow me on my YouTube page. It's Creole Roots, okay? So, or you can hit me up at Angela Washington. I am on there. So, I'm just going to go ahead. And this meat is looking good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just showing you the meat. Okay. It's cooked down. Now I'm going to drain off the fat. I'll be back. So while that meat is draining, the fat is rendering off, I'm going to go ahead and add my Holy Trinity. So that's bell pepper, onion, celery, parsley, and we're going to start heating this up, okay? Also, what we're going to do is I'm going to add this bay leaf in here because you want the aromatics from the bay leaf to pop out. It has a good flavor, and I'm going to add them in right now so they can start, or it can start opening up, rehydrate, and you'll have bursting flavor from the bay leaf. Bay leaf is really good. It really is. So just place that to the side. I got my bell pepper, onion, celery in there. I'm gonna go ahead and add some garlic. Of course, you know I have to have my garlic too. So that's what we're doing today, stuffed bell peppers. Thank you for joining me, you guys. I'm gonna add a nice heaping spoon, if you can see that, of garlic, okay? I'm gonna add some mushrooms. Okay, and then we're gonna let all this saute down. Turn up the heat to about an 8. That's high, okay? Still medium high, unless I put it on high, which is the highest level. So I'm sauteing these vegetables. I'm gonna add some olive oil. And this is a good healthy fat. Olive oil is very good for you too. So we're just sauteing the bell pepper, onion, celery, garlic, mushrooms, letting everything come together. And then we're gonna add the meat back into this once the veggies start sweating down and you start seeing translucent onions and stuff. It's gonna cook again too in the oven. So it's almost like twice cooked because you're cooking it on the stove top, putting all the ingredients in, but then you add it in the oven to finish baking off. So I'm gonna also be using, like I said, tomato sauce, okay? And this is gonna be a hearty dish, really good, but a little more healthier than the normal stuffed bell peppers. Just a little bit. It's not real healthy, but it's healthy enough. Because I'm adding rice in, but that's a carb that most people who work out in the gym use. They add rice to their meals because it's a sustainable thing when you do lifting weights and stuff. So it's okay for me to add the rice in this. So my son does CrossFit training. For those who don't know, you're conditioning your body at high levels to maintain a perfect fit body, well-balanced body. So yeah. And if you don't know how to train, you could hurt yourself though. But he's experienced enough. He's been doing well. He's been there doing it over a year and a half. He loves it. So I'm just getting this in. I'm going to add some seasoning in here. Of course, you know I have my Creole seasoning, Tony Chachere. I'm going to get that in here. I'm going to add a little accent. I'm going to add some Italian seasoning, because this is an Italian dish. It's just not the Creole portion of an Italian dish like New Orleans people. But it has the background of being Italian, so it's good. It's good to go. I'm going to use some thyme, and I'm going to use a little bit sage too. So you want your dish bursting with flavor, but not overwhelmed and salty. So this is rubbed sage. I'm putting sage in. And I'm going to start adding my meat back in. Okay. Sage works so well in a stuffed bell pepper dressing. It is real good. I'm add more parsley. It didn't have enough parsley for me. Then I'm going to add my meat back in. So I added my meat back in, you guys. Drained all that fat off. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir this. And as this comes together, I'm going to add the rice in as well. And I'm going to also add the tomato sauce. I'm going to hit it with a little cayenne pepper as well. I'm going to taste it for seasoning in a minute, but I want this meat to cook a little bit more before I taste anything for seasoning. And I'm going to be adding some cheese on top. Might add a little bit inside the dish too. Okay, so I do have some cheese here. I have some Parmesan Romano. I'm going to add that in here. And then I'm going to top it with these two. Not a lot, but I'm going to top it with these two, okay? So, yeah. So, there you have it. I'm doing stuffed bell peppers a different way, but a tasty way. A little tasty, different, but it's tasty, yeah. So, I want you to taste the dish, but like I said, I don't want my dish overwhelmed with salt. I've seen that a lot even in restaurants where the food just too salty. You want to taste it, and I don't like when it's over spicy to where you can't enjoy the dish. The meat tastes more like spice than meat. So that's not a good thing to me. I want to taste all the flavors, together. So I'm sprinkling on a little bit cayenne. We're not going to overdo it. Okay. And before I taste it, I'm going to start adding my sauce. See if I need to add a little bit seasoning. I know I'm going to add some sugar in here, okay, because it balances out the tomato. So I'm going to add some sugar. I'm going to add more. Now I'll add a little bit water too. So that's about 1.5 teaspoons I just added in here of sugar, okay? And I always use about a 1/8 teaspoon of all my seasonings. It's never a tablespoon or anything like that. It's always like a 1/8 teaspoon. 1/8 of a teaspoon, you know, if I'm saying that right. But yeah, so I got my mixtures in. I wanted to start cooking down and marrying. And then I'm going to add my rice in. Okay. I'm going to also add some cheese in here. That's kind of like 1/2 of a 1/4 of a cup. Not much, to maybe 2 tablespoons, okay, of that cheese. Now, of course, you know I'm going to taste it to see if I need to add something else. If it needs more Tony Chachere Creole seasoning. So I'm going to taste it, you guys, and see what we're working with. See how it's coming out or faring out. Here it is. That's some of the, can you see it? There it is. I'm going to try it. That's good. Yep. And I like the sweetness of the maple pork sausage. It's real good. It has cheese in there. So now I'm going to add my rice. I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to add my rice in. And then we're going to stuff the peppers and put them in the oven on 350 to 375 for about 30 minutes. Because this is already cooked. We just want to get the bell peppers cooked down. And you can do stuffed bell peppers with corn, with fajitas. You can do it all kinds of ways. So we're not always right if we're doing things just our way. You can cook meals any type of way you choose to, you know. It's according to your palate, your taste buds and stuff. So I decided to make it this way. And I have my peppers here, and we're going to stuff them now. Going to add some cheese. Move this to the side. And I turned off my heat. So now I'm going to stuff my peppers. And we're going to add some cheese in there. We're going to top it with some cheese and stuff, okay? So this is pretty tasty. I really like it. And I'm going to start by stuffing each pepper. And there you have it. See the pepper? And then we're going to top it with some cheese. And then I'm going to bake them in the oven. So each pepper is going to get stuffed I'm going to bake them in the oven and you'll see the finishing touches once it comes out of the oven, okay? One day I'm even going to show you how I make my dirty rice stuffed bell peppers. That's pretty cool too. Yeah, so you can make your dishes how you want to make them, you know. You can take a recipe out of a book and you can create it and make it do what it do for you. So it doesn't always have to be on point with what the book says. If you're a person who loves flavor and want extras, then go ahead and make it how you desire it to be. So I chose this route because I don't want the giant carbs in a real stuffed bell pepper from New Orleans because they're full of carbs. But I wanted to give them a little carb, which is the rice, but it's going to balance with the proteins and stuff and the veggies. So that's what I did. So it's still kind of healthy and you won't leave feeling overwhelmed or too stuffed and then feel like you have to go extra hard in the gym because you overdid it. So this is a good way when you're an avid workout person anyway. You can make stuffed bell peppers this way instead of using all the breading. So get that pretty stuffed in there. And it's going to be pretty Christmassy type, you know. So that's what we're looking for. So I'm just stuffing my peppers, each one. Then we're going to let them go in the oven until the peppers become soft and everything blends together and loses some ingredients. Okay, so and I made just enough. So it turned out great. So this is my last one for all 12 bell peppers. So my peppers are stuffed with mushrooms, ground chuck, and ground pork sausage, maple flavor. So we're gonna bake this in the oven. Let me get up some of my ingredients that hit the ground. Get a little bit off of here and add there. Get a little bit off of here and add here. Okay, so let me just add my cheese. Then I'm gonna add my Italian cheese, you guys, on top. And then I'm gonna put a little water in the bottom of the pan, okay? So this is a little mozzarella cheese as well. You can add black olives in this. You add a lot of different stuff in here. You really can. Corn, zucchini. Do a lot. So here you have it. Isn't that pretty and festive? So I'm gonna add some water in the bottom of the pan. Then I'm gonna put them in the oven, okay? So we're gonna cook them down until the bell peppers become tender. I'm going to put some foil on there. And then we're going to melt that cheese too. Okay. So you want to try to spray your pan. I'm spraying the foil sheets to keep it from sticking with the cheese. And I'm going to let this bake. And then you'll see the finishing touches in a little bit. So that's to keep the cheese from sticking on the foil, okay? So it's gonna go in the oven on 350, and we're gonna let it cook. Let me get this pulled out. Not all the way out. I pulled it all the way out, you guys. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so here you go. In the oven on 350. I say about 30-35 minutes. Okay, so I just want to thank you guys for joining me in my kitchen today. It was a pleasure. You'll see the finishing touches of my dish, which is the stuffed bell peppers. I did a different version from New Orleans style, but the same Creole Roots girl is cooking it, so you know it's gonna be awesome. So thank you again for joining me on my channel today. This is Creole Roots 47 in the kitchen with Angela. If you've been looking for me, well, you found me. You're in the kitchen with Angela. Join me on Instagram. That is on Creole Roots 47. On Facebook, Creole Roots Washington. In my YouTube channel, you can find me, Angela Washington. Thank you for joining me. It was a great Saturday. Oh, you have a blessed day. Thank you.